Hello, everyone. This is my first podcast and live streaming on YouTube. I am. Are we allowed to say our names in here? Well, I'm just gonna only tell you my first name. My name is Kara. I am Kyle's fiance. Okay. um. So I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Um. I Let's see. When I was younger, I didn't really have a great, beginning of my life. Um, I had lived in a really ghetto, um, kind of like deserted place. It was in Alamo, New Mexico. I was born in Socorro. The only hospital that was there was in the corner at the far end. I remember growing up in a really small, kind of like a little town, but it was kind of more like a residential area, but it was like really, really, really ghetto. Um, let's see. I'm so sorry. I'm like super nervous. Um, so when I don't know. Hold on. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Um, I had two parents growing up. My dad, I never met him. He was not there when I was born in the hospital. My mom was always working, and on the where was she working? It was Albuquerque. She would leave me and I think her other daughter that I really don't talk to anymore. But she's basically my blood, like full blooded sister. Her name is Tara. She is actually older than I am. Uh, let's see. So, uh, I'm not really sure if anyone's watching this right now, um, or listening to me. Uh, kind of like needs some kind of encouragement, but I think I'll be all right. Um, Sorry if you hear any noises in the background. It is my daughter, my fiance, or the movie Avatar that she's watching. Okay, let's get started. Um, Hold on a minute. Okay. I think I feel like super rad right now because my fiance is watching me. It's like my first time doing this. Okay. Um, there we go again. Yeah, you can probably count how many times I'm going to be saying that. Okay. So when I was growing up in this little area, I remember not really having anybody to watch me that much. I know my family members always seem to ignore me all the time. I honestly don't remember a lot of things when I was younger, but I can just kind of think of like little images um, as I was growing up. I remember there's one time when I was in the backyard. It's kind of like a really deserted area. It's near the mountains. It's like way back in some small area. There's like Alamo right here, and as you travel all the way on the other side at the end, on the other side of the mountain, that's the deserted place. I'm not sure if anyone lives in that area anymore. Uh, I know my mom, who adopted me, she went and took me over there just to check it out. It looked like there was a couple people who were there, but I wasn't really sure because it really did look deserted, like no one was there. When I was, that's my daughter. Can you, babe?
What? Change it?
Yeah, please. Thank you. It looks full. And make her a baba. Okay. When I was in this place, I remember being in the backyard. I was like really small, like I think like 5 years and younger. And I,
Pretend that you're talking to it like a Pacific, like.
babe, I really,
I know you're nervous. It's actually doing good, but
he keeps telling me what to do. I'm getting really irritated. Like I know what to do, but he irritates me. Okay. So when I was in the backyard, I remember I think it was like there was like a ant hill, and there was like so many ants on the ground, and I think like one of them pinched me behind my leg, and I was crying like really badly, and I guess trying to remember like pieces of it, but I couldn't. Um, they were trying to take care of me, and all I know, I wasn't really watched when I was younger. I used to get into a lot of stuff. There was one time, I know it's gonna kind of like need to be like 18 years or older for people to watch this because it's pretty gruesome. I mean, I'm not gonna explain in detail, but I remember as a young child, there are a lot of things that I've experienced really young that no one ever should have to go through. Um, I remember my mom, she really didn't know. She was very young at that time. She she didn't know what was really going on until it was already too late. I all I know, she had this guy, this boyfriend that she used to be with. I think they still talk or whatever. I remember I think he hated the idea of having to take care of a kid that wasn't his. I know there was one time when I was in a room, and it was there was like a bed, and I was tied like to the bed. They had like it was like handcuffs on my between my ankles, and he would just have me there, and he would cover a blanket over my ankles. And I know my mom just came in, and she was like looking for something on that bookshelf or something like that. I think I remember there was like she was looking for money, or it seemed like she was trying to be in a hurry. And I know I was calling out to her. I was like, Mama, and I feel like she could hear me, but she was choosing to ignore me, like she didn't hear me. I was trying to let her, like, I don't know, I guess, we're my mom's age, people that she had left me behind had a really hard time trying to take care of me because they were so much into hurting me and to hating um, in my existence that it came to abusing me and torturing me mentally and physically. And it really screwed me over as I grew up. All I know is that when she came into the room, I she didn't know that there was handcuffs on my ankles. Maybe she did. I don't know. But there was not like a lot of good things growing up. Like I had to go through. All I know is that the people who were trying to take care of me, they took all of their anger and their frustration out on me because I was weak and I was defenseless. I didn't have anybody to talk to or to turn to. All I know is there was this one time when I went to a neighbor's house, and I think they had a kid up there. I'm not sure if it was like a little girl or something. We were all trying to, I guess, go into one room and they were playing pretend or whatever. And they had me do something so horrible to the girl that I still remember to this day. And when I was younger was, I think it was my mom's side of her side of the family. It might have been the her. I'm not sure if it was her dad or something like that. I remember it was my grandpa. Um, he would really hurt me and physically, and it was just horrible. It was traumatic, and I know the grandmother knew about it, and she did anything to stop him from doing all the things he did. So it's as a child when you experience all these things, you think that it's normal. And I remember one time when I was in more of the openness side of town. I think this was where my grandfather and my grandmother lived. It was more in the Alamo area. Um, I was sitting down in front of the porch and then I was eating watermelon. Everyone was having like a huge barbecue, and I remember I was just like really sad, really depressed, and the only thing that made me happy was just eating this watermelon. Um, I know there was one time. I'm skipping on to like each stage of my memory, but I know there's like more to it, but I don't want to tell everybody in details, only because there might be some kids watching or something like that. But kids nowadays are actually really lucky to have two parents in their lives, which I want for my daughter. I want to be there for her, and I want her dad to be there for her, and to make sure that she lives up in a healthy lifestyle as much as she can, because I never had the opportunity to be able to experience that. You know, if there's I don't know if anyone, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's experienced traumatic abuse and mental abuse as a child. There's a lot of people out there that, still kind of have it inside themselves and still holding it, still holding the grudge of like, why did you do this to me and everything like that. And there's TikTok trends, some of them, they kind of confront their abusers, which I can't really confront my abusers because I honestly don't remember like who they are and what they look like. I know there was different occasions to where I know I was being abused, and I couldn't do anything about it because I was, I didn't know better. I was like kind of brainwashed into thinking that it was normal. And I think that's why they came to find that it was so easy to abuse me, because I didn't attack or I didn't fight back. Um, and to this day, I had a lot of therapy, and I had a lot of people who had helped me. I know my adopted mother tried to get people to listen to my story and everything like that, and it really didn't help for them to really understand where I was coming from, because I was very young. And I know when she adopted me, she didn't really expect me to be like a crazy, out of control child, only because I've experienced those things in the past. And I know it took a very long time for me to heal. Now I can talk about it and I'm not crying. I mean, I remember there was times when I would talk about this and I would not even be able to hold a conversation. I could still feel the lump in my throat talking about it, but I know that I'm healed a lot more now. And, my abuser, he actually passed away. I'm not sure how long ago. I think it was like a few years ago. I'm not sure if I was like, when he passed away, I'm not sure if I was like super happy, because I know I wanted to get the chance to confront him and talk to him and be like, why did you do this? But I know it probably would just go back into like it wouldn't be better for me, to be honest with you, because he was still the same person. I've heard stories that he would, you know, try to do the same thing to like my family members that were over there still, and any child that he would be in reach with or whatever. um, but I honestly don't know. Like, I mean, I can say that I forgive this person that did this, but to be honest with you, I don't know how to feel about it because like I've lived with this my whole life, and I've had a hard time keeping with relationships, with my family, with anyone who came into my life, and everyone who would come into my life. I would, they would be miserable. They would not want to deal with me at all. And maybe 10 years from now I'll be like a completely different person, which I'm trying to reach that goal to actually being a lot happier than I am. um I mean, I'm super grateful, I'm super happy, that I have, like, a car, a house, and all those things I've always wanted. um but it doesn't seem to look like I am, because like my facial expressions, as you can see, is just like one face, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, she has the beef BF." I don't know if anyone know what that it is, but yeah, or the poker face. um, so like I guess when there was this one time, continuing on to from what I was saying from before, I was at my auntie's house and my mom was there, and there was like a few kids there. I'm not sure who I was playing with. All I know is was in outside and playing like in the tall grass. Whoops, my bad. Tall grass, and I guess I thought I saw something from a distance. It looked like a tiger or something like that. Um, and I was like, oh my god, look!" And I wasn't on top of like a plastic red chair. Okay, you guys can hear me. Okay. I was on top of a red plastic chair, and I was just playing, and I guess it flipped, and then it, you know, the leg part kind of went into my inner thigh, and it led up furthermore, and that's when I started bleeding out, and my mom was freaking out. I remember she was yelling at me, and she was like, why didn't you not pay attention? Like, why did you do this? And you know, I don't know. All I remember, I was crying, and I was in a lot of pain. Um, and I know she left, I guess. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure where she went. All I remember, next thing I know, is I had to take care of a little infant. I was like really young. I was sitting on the bed in the dark, and the little baby was just right there, and I was just sitting there, and like in a lot of pain. And I remember there was like cops and a lot of what's it called? A lot of people gathering around, and they were trying to take me into the ambulance. And I remember I was in the hospital, and the lady was looking at me, and she looked in, my area, and she was just like, her face was like horrific. It was horrible. Like, she was horrified. Um, Next thing I knew, they were telling me that they were going to take me somewhere, and I didn't know where they were going to take me. I wasn't, I don't know, I had like no emotion whatsoever during this process. All I remember, I was just in a lot of pain. I was just crying. And, I guess after that, my mother was outside of the hospital, and then she was up against the wall. She didn't say anything to me, and I guess she didn't want to say goodbye or nothing. and then they put me in the back of a car, and I think they were trying to have me, their CPS took me away. And all I remember is that apparently I was physically abused, and the nurses found out that someone's been abusing me. Um, Not even just one person; it was multiple people. And I know that during that time, I wasn't able to conceive because I was, very young, and it really messed me up. Um, and I know when I was taken away into that car, it kind of went like black. Like, I don't remember anything after that. I know that I was in a home, like many different homes. Many people were trying to adopt me, and I know they took me back because they were like, "Oh my God, she's so messed up. Like, this is too much for me." I know that one of the people who adopted me, they gave me like this really nice looking doll, like glass doll, and it was really pretty. But for some reason, I got a Sharpie and I drew all over her face, and I don't know why I did that. And I guess they freaked out, and then they were like, "Okay, well, let's take her back." And I know I was in a sister home. I remember going into the backyard, and I guess I tripped over something, and it was like a cactus, and the cactus went all over my hands. And I know the sister, she was like, taking the tweezer one by one, taking it out. And I had a suitcase and had my mom's underwear on it. There was like a lot of clothes that I wore for my mom. It wasn't like normal kids' clothes. And that's kind of how, my childhood was. Like, I didn't have any toys to play with. I didn't really have any clothes that were mine. I know I wasn't potty trained. There was like a horrible incident where I put like my poop all over the wall. And I remember I'm not sure if it was my original dad or it could have been her boyfriend looking through the window telling if she was gonna be like, "Oh, you're gonna get in trouble." But I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I barely even knew how to speak in it. I wasn't taking care of that well. Maybe I think I might have. I don't remember when I was adopted. My dad, not my original dad, but my adopted dad, told me that I spoke 3 different languages. I spoke Navajo, Spanish, and English all at one time. And I know my adopted dad, he speaks Spanish, Spanish, not Spanish, Spanish real well. The only reason why he does that is because he needs to connect with his people that he talks to when he's over at his work. I'm not sure really what he does because we don't really, we don't normally talk. I only know is I talk to my mom more than anyone else in my family. Um, so after that, I remember. I think the I don't even remember being in court, but I know. I guess they gave false information to somebody saying who my abuser was when I didn't even really know. Like, I don't understand how you can put like a 5-year old kid or like someone who's younger than that to a court and be like, "Oh, okay, well, tell me who your abuser is," and I'm just like, "Well, how can they not? How do they know that?" I don't think really kids that age really remember anything. And even if they do, they must have grown up in a really good environment because I'm pretty sure I really don't remember all that stuff, and it's probably for a good reason. After that, I know that my mom who adopted me told me that um, that the court said that she was the only option and I had nowhere to go. So she took me in. I know there was a lot of discipline. There was a lot of correction with me that needed to be fixed. I know the doctors diagnosed me with being ADHD. Um, I'm not sure what else, but I know there was many factors in that. But she told me that, oh, you don't have ADHD. You don't have these problems. So I never had pills. I know I had to talk to some therapists only because it was manufactured in that it was mandatory to be able to talk to these people. And she always told me to not tell them anything that happened at home or they're going to take you away from me. And it was, I know she was doing it for good reasons. I wouldn't be here if she hadn't taken care of me. And, she was, even though I was going through these things, she was like a really great mother. And, and I hope she stays, around for a while because I know she's more like a grandma, she's more like a grandmother because she's not like my mom's age right now. My mom's like pretty young. Um, I know she was there when I had given birth to Luna. Uh, the afterwards because I know she had a lot of things to do, and try to take care of my niece and all that. Um, yeah, this my whole life was just, not really like that great. There were some things that I remember that were pretty awesome. Um, I'm like losing motivation for this talk right now. Yeah, but for all the people that are listening right now, I know either if you have a family member or if you know someone that was going through this and they're still trying to go through it and still coping with this, they're not alone. If they want to listen to my podcast, you can have them listen to my podcast and then I'll definitely tell you how to overcome it. I'm a real expert on trying to, make sure that I get through it, and I don't know if anyone's the same way. Um, when when I was adopted into this family, I was really scared. I know everything was new, and there was new people. I was like, oh, I'm not really sure what's going on, like the understanding and all that. I didn't know there was a lot of discipline. My mom disciplined me in everything, every little thing, and it came with good intentions. I know there's this one time when I was so scared. She was having her kids put me down, and they put down my pants, and they were like beating me with a belt. And they were, I remember I was screaming. There was like I was running around the living room. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die." um, but it was with good purpose. I know, nowadays people are like, "Oh my god, that's horrible," but that's just how it was when it was, back in the day. That's how people would get disciplined, and my discipline was crucial, but it did impact me into being a better person. You know, even though like mentally I wasn't ready for it, it still kind of made me strong, like a very strong person. Like nothing really scares me now. The only thing that scares me is like paranormal stuff, like ghosts and things that I can't control. But if it's like a person breaking into my house, I'm gonna definitely go and down, and get a weapon near me and like get out of my house. There's no reason for someone to be there. But yeah, being this family that adopted me, we, I feel like, they probably would have had a great life without me, to be honest. I know I probably was there for a reason. I'm still here for a reason. It might not be me, it may be my daughter. My daughter might, become the next president for all we know. I don't know. They I know I impacted a lot of people's lives. I changed everyone's lives around me. I knew any person that I meet, I'll definitely change your life in some way. And I know I'm here for a reason and everyone is, you know. I know I don't really know my dad that much. I know that we don't really talk to each other cuz he's always out. It's not a bad thing. He would go out and go to California for like 2 3 weeks, and then he'd come back for the weekend, and then he'd go out again, only because he was trying to work. I know at first he was working with Dole. I think it was like cans and then Dole salads, and then there was, I think it was like alcohol, and now there is, I think he's working with some kind of like weed company. But he makes really good money for himself and his, the family that he's with now, that supports, which is, he didn't move on or anything. He's still with my mom. When I don't even, I don't know why I say that, like, this family, or his family. I think is because I've never really kind of opened myself, and I had this wall when I was growing up to where I never really allowed my family members to really know who I was, and it was, I just had really hard, to trust anyone, only because I'm probably pretty sure that it had something to do with when I was younger. Um, but I know, uh, going through this, it takes time. It takes time to move on, and it takes time to not blame anyone around you, especially those who hurted you. It I know the first time when I truly stopped blaming someone about my problems was when I first started meeting Kyle, my baby, my husband, my boo boo. He really changed me in a lot of ways, and I didn't even know that I could change, because I'm pretty stubborn. Um, Sorry, my back is hurting. He he was I know when I first met him, he didn't I did not expect to be with him. Um, my self-esteem is not that great. Like, I feel like I'm like an average Joe. Um, and I don't know if it's because, like, I know I'm not. I mean, I may appear like I'm mean, but I'm not mean at all. But I know there are a lot of people out there that are that have different personalities, and they show it in a different way, and I do too. You know, and I know a lot of people. I don't know if it's because of my face or what I look like, but I think they look at me and they're like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have a problem right away," and so they treat me like crap first, and so they don't expect me to do the same to them. I guess I don't know. I just have that like bad habit of putting people close to me, and then they just get the wrong idea. Like anybody who I meet, and I don't know why that is. Um, let's see. Yeah, so as I was growing up into this household, um, I I know I had my own room. I think when I was in California, we had this like two-story house. I always have dreams about the different places that I would live at. I don't know why. I remember dreaming about my, house in California, and the other house, and I was like, where I think it was like, what was it called? San Francisco? I don't know. I know we had a neighbor across from right next to us. She was with she was like my older sister was best friends with our neighbor. I think because they went to school together. And then there was like a pool. We had a pool. We were living pretty good over there. I know that my sister Josephine. Oh, well, I'm only gonna call her Josephine. I don't know if she's ever gonna be watching this, but she was great. She was awesome. She always found a way to entertain me, and there was this little neighborhood boy that used to be with us too, and I don't remember, but I think we used to have a crush on each other, and my sister encouraged it. And he had like really blonde platinum hair, and he was just like a white boy, like a real white boy. And my sister would have like a red wagon, and we would go into the back of the red wagon, and we would, she would just, take us to go to McDonald's around the corner. And during that time, it was like a really easy time. Like, we didn't really have a lot of problems. Even when you went to that McDonald's drive-through with just like a basic red wagon, they'd actually, take your order. They'd be like, we would go through the drive-through without having any car, and they would just give us the food, I guess. Um, it was pretty awesome. I remember there was one time in that McDonald's, my mom, I think she told me, I think I dropped something out of the car, and she was like, "Oh my god, go get it." So I went out and got, to get it. And I remember she ran her tire over my foot, and she was like, "Get in." And I was like, "I can't." And she was like, "What do you mean you can't?" And I was like, "I can't move, mom. You're on top of my foot." And she started laughing, and I was like, "Okay, can you get off my foot now?" And she rolled forward, and I get on, I went back into the car. It's so amazing. It's like so weird because McDonald's used to be around for a very long time. I mean, that's like the number one place to go to for an emergency food if you have no money. I mean, like $5 and under, you're good. They got you. They got like chicken, spicy chicken with pickles, and that's like a dollar, and plus tax. And then any large, small, medium cokes, it'd be like $1.08. Now I'm not sure how long ago it used to be, back in the day, but I know it was pretty easy food to live off of. And I know there was a movie theater that was across from the McDonald's. I'm trying to remember where this place was exactly. I honestly don't know. I know then we went to the movie theaters all the time. My dad would be like so into movies. He would take all of us to go to the movie theaters every time he goes in, back from the weekend. From his work in California. I'm not sure where exactly he worked now, but I know, and when we moved to Nevada, um, where his mom was, which was my grandma, she makes the best fudge, by the way, for the holidays. And she has no filter. I wish I can actually podcast her one of these days. Hopefully, she'll be able to listen and kind of participate in it because she's awesome. I haven't seen her in a while, and it's been a long time, but she's an amazing grandmother. Uh, I know my dad goes, to California, and he'd come back and he would take us to the movies. He's like a movie fanatic, so I kind of like know every movie that's out there. Um, I know he still does it to this day, but I don't go to the movies anymore. I just kind of watch movies on my Netflix. And the best part of going to the movie theaters, in Nevada, in Las Vegas, if you ever go to the movies here, or I'm not sure really, I don't really travel that much, but I know like certain states, um, I'm not sure how your movie theaters are. Hold on. Excuse me, I had to burp. Um, so when you go into a movie theater, yes, the tickets are expensive. Yes, the snacks are expensive, and you can't even bring in your own food. You can't even bring in your own drinks or snacks, and they always check your bag. And back in the day, you never used to do that. Like, you just come in with a big bag, and they don't really question you because then, I guess I'm not sure. Yeah, we're like, oh, well, they're bringing their own snacks. They're not using our snack. They're losing a lot of money, I guess. That's probably what they thought. I'm not sure if there's incidents in movie theaters where someone brought a BOMB or something, or I don't really know much into that. Um, but when you go into the movie theaters, you smell the smell of popcorn. Oh my god. And you smell jalapenos and all the drinks and nacho cheese. And just is like heaven when you go in there. For people who don't know me, I love food. And I don't know if that's based off my zodiac sign as a Taurus. Hold on. Babe, babe, babe. It's my daughter. I'm gonna be. Ooh, Oh, okay. She's gonna cry. It's okay, baby. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. Oh, I love you. I'll be done in. I'll be done 7:20. Okay. Well, I just my baby. Gotta take care of her. Okay. Um. Yeah. So growing into this family, I know my mom. She would always pay attention to me all the time, trying to keep an eye on me, make sure I don't do anything, make sure I don't get into stuff, make sure I don't steal anything, make sure I don't lie, things like that. When I was younger, I remember I used to steal a lot, and then I would stop only because it wasn't like a good thing to do that. And then I think I'd lie to my mom all the time too, but I don't know why I would do that. I think it's just because my original mom, um, would teach us how to steal stuff. My mom who was adopted, I think she'd make up all these stories to make me believe about my original mom, but at the same time, I don't even know how the relationship was. I know my mom claimed that my adopted mom claimed that she named me Kara, and then it was her idea, instead of my biological mom. It's just normal though between two moms. Yes, one's giving birth to me. Yes, the other one's taking care of me. They're both my moms, but the one I would truly think of my mom is the one who adopted me. She was there for me all the time, and even when I didn't want it. When I was younger, I was very independent. I know at one point in my life, I taught myself how to ride a bike. Yeah, I went around on my. I was like, I don't want these training wheels on. Can you take it off? And so they took it off, and I was riding my bike. And I remember my mom, even though she was there, but not really all there, she would be on her phone all the time. She'd be talking to her family members, anybody, everyone would be like wanting my mom's attention. She's always busy consistently all the time, and there was never really a moment to where I could just sit down and talk to her like in a loving manner, only because I think she thinks of it as like an awkward thing. Because even now to this day, she has a hard time trying to hug me and stuff like that. And she thinks like, ooh, she blames on the pandemic, but I'm pretty sure she is very comfortable with that. But I still try to hug her as much as I can. Um, and I know during that time when I was riding a bike, it was amazing. It's very good to always teach yourself how to do things, even as a young age. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm having like a brain fart. So yeah, I should probably invite a lot of people to my YouTube channel and see. Well, not my YouTube channel, our YouTube channel. I don't know why I keep saying my to everything. That's the only thing that my fiance has a hard time with me saying my car, my place, my daughter, my YouTube channel. It's not mine because it's ours, you know. But I don't see no ring. I'm just kidding. I don't know. He didn't see that. So yeah, I'm waiting for the day until my fiance actually we get married. Wink, wink. Because hopefully we get married soon. So yeah, I was growing up, I know there was two different houses. I know there was like one story, and I remember my older sister used to get in trouble and with a lot of things, and she always used to tell me not to say anything to my mom. Now to this day, I have never told my mom what she has done, and I still am not going to tell. To this day, I know, I love my big sister, even though she doesn't think I do. And certain things that I've said to her when I was younger, I think she probably still holds it to me to this day, which I don't blame her, Um, maybe one of these days, hopefully she'll kind of be in tune with with life, and, hopefully we'll be able to talk again. Because I'm not sure where she's at, to be honest. Um, and I know the same thing with my other sister, JoJo. Like I love her. I love her to death. And we're all of us are going through some stuff, and it's kind of like a weird thing now because I feel like I've broken everybody up to this day. I feel like my brother went in another different direction. And even when I was young, I feel like I have psychic abilities. Like I know things before it's gonna even happen, or I know something and without someone even telling me. And I don't know why I still indulge into it and I still keep continuing it even though I know that it's wrong. Um like I remember one time we were at a Mexican restaurant, my family and I, and my brother apparently had made a decision to move out, and I think they had discussed it over without having to tell me, and the whole thing was my fault. I felt it was like my fault. Like, as you can't see right now, but my daughter is holding her big bear that I got her from the store. She's holding his hand. My fiance's playing with her. So yeah, my siblings, all of us kind of went in different directions. We're not all connected like we used to be anymore. And I still think it's my fault. I feel like I wish I could change things in the past to where things were different, but at the same time I was still not living in a good situation. I didn't have the opportunities to figure out what I needed to do at a young age. But babe, she's having your shirt in her hand. I think I have 1 minute left. I'm just gonna talk about just me growing up in general, into this family that I was in. Um, and then, from my next one that I'll talk about how, I grew up in elementary and middle school and high school and graduation. And then I'll have a part 3 about after graduation and what happened and how many years after that until, I reached to a certain point. And then after that, I'll talk about how I got there to the job I work at now that we cannot talk about or any coworkers' names. But yep. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna this double check. Oh way. I was trying to do the diet with Kyle, but I wasn't able to only because I felt like I was passing out. So I might need to go to the doctors, take a look at, maybe they can suggest a different route that I need to do to be able to lose weight just a little bit. I don't need to lose weight, just a little bit, like maybe 20 pounds, and that's it. So babe, I'm done now. Hold on. This is my first time. Yes, I'm done. So thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and continue on to talking about, my life and everything like that, and getting to know personally like my hobbies and getting to know me. Because I'm pretty sure not even a lot of people know me that much. All right. Okay. Bye-bye. I'm still here.